Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and episode 2 of Mandalorian was even better than the first. When we left off from episode 1, the Mandalorian had just found the Yo Baby, and now he's got to escape from planet whatever the hell it is and bring Yo Baby to the Imperials. And escaping this planet is not going to be an easy prospect. So, this is where the Jawas show up. The Jawas are kind of interesting in this. They're much, much more aggressive than they were seen in the original EU, to the point where they actually start shooting at the Mandalorian. Essentially, the Mandalorian is taking Yo Baby back to his ship, and surprise, surprise, the Jawas have started stripping it. Now, you would have thought that the Mandalorian would have had some sort of security system on his ship, but, well, he's got to stay on the planet a little longer because budget, I guess? So the Jawas steal parts of his ship, and the Mandalorian tries to stop him, and that's where he introduces the epic disruptor rifle of great justice. Now, I have actually looked it up. That is not a disruptor rifle. Rather, it's a typical blaster rifle, just much more powerful than the norm. That's why it's a single shot. What's kind of funny, though, is that in the course of this episode, it actually jams a little bit, and it actually makes some sense, but you think the blaster rifle wouldn't be, a break-open single shot, but whatever, it's cool. He's just vaporizing Jawas left and right. This actually reminds me a bit, that scene where he's fighting the Jawas reminds me a little bit of Gennady Tartakovsky's Samurai Jack. In fact, this whole show, for the last 3 episodes, reminds me a lot of Samurai Jack in many respects. Because there's not a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of really nice scenery, and a lot of really well-paced and well-choreographed action sequences. And the action sequence against Jawas is nothing short of exceptional. There's a lot of physicality going on. The Mandalorian is jumping on their sand crawler. He's getting knocked around, and the initial fight against the Jawas ends with the Jawas they don't vaporize him, but they completely stun him with their ion blasters, which is thankfully in canon, and it works quite well. The Mandalorian has to work with the wise old dude to get his ship parts back, and there's a really cool scene where the Jawas are saying, "Your Jawa is terrible," to which the Mandalorian is like, "Try this," and he sets off his flamethrower, and I thought that was awesome. I mean, it's a simple little bit of dialogue, but it works, and it's well in keeping with his character. The end of the episode is also nothing short of exceptional. You have the Mandalorian fighting against a giant Ronto beast. Now, the reason he's fighting against that is the Jawas will give him his ship parts back if he gets a Ronto egg. They don't exactly explain why at the beginning, but we do see why at the end. Now, the battle against the Ronto is really, really well done. The Mandalorian just gets the crap kicked out of him. Now, this could go one of two ways. We all know the Yo Baby is going to do something. Now, we will get on to the Yo Baby in a little bit, but we all know the Yo Baby is going to do something, and it would have been really cheap if the Yo Baby got the kill. But he did not. Rather, the Yo Baby uses the Force to pick up the Ronto and kind of stun him a little bit, and then the Mandalorian stabs him in the brain. The Ronto beast, that is. That was awesome. That shows that the Yo Baby and the Mandalorian are working together. Also, a previous scene that I did not mention, the Mandalorian gets hurt, and the Yo Baby cutely tries to heal him with the Force, but the Mandalorian doesn't understand and puts him in his little hover baby carriage. But I thought that was really nice. That's definitely a very Samurai Jack kind of thing, because the entire scene is handled without any dialogue at all. So, the Mandalorian gets the Ronto egg, and brings it to the Jawas. And it's kind of a gross scene. They crack it open and eat all the yolk, and it's kind of nasty, but whatever, it's kind of the idea. And so, at the end of the show, we have the Mandalorian flying off in his ship. And there's another really good scene. One of the few dialogue scenes in the episode where, the Mandalorian is, "I can't thank you enough." He's talking to the wise old dude whose name I don't think the name is actually mentioned in the episode. I certainly don't remember it. But it shows that this Mandalorian is much more of a nice guy, sort of a good guy, if you will, than Boba Fett ever was. Boba Fett would not have been a very good fit for the Mandalorian character if he were in the show, just because Boba Fett was never a nice guy. He was completely neutral, and would not have thought twice about just, taking the stuff and running. Overall, episode 2 was, in my opinion, a little bit better than episode 1. There was a lot of good dialogue sequences. The Yo Baby really adds about 33% awesomeness to the show, and I'm really glad they chose to include it. I'm really liking the Mandalorian character. He's actually pretty cool, but he's also very human as well. He's much less of just a walking, talking gun. And that's something I was really happy to see. And so, I am GeneralLotz, wishing you good Mandalorian Episode 3, or whatever makes you happy. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and if you can, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue bringing you this awesome content.